everyone, this is Beerzino. I'm hopped up on painkillers because I broke another tooth, so yeah. So I decided I'm making a just random video because I can't sleep, and yeah. Anyways, in this video we're going to talk about our movie remakes destined to fail. And if you've lived under a rock, then, well, you would know that nearly every year there's at least a couple movie remakes coming out. And, well, that's just been pretty much par for the course for the past 10 to 15 years. You know, things just get remade, they get rehashed, stuff like that. Mainly in the horror space. That's when you see a lot of remakes in the horror space. Now, the thing is, a lot of people really do, just like, they like to jump on the bandwagon and hate these films before they even come out. Just say, oh, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck. And this talk has actually been spurred from a talk that I had with my friend Chevy. We were talking about the Point Break remake, right? That's basically what I got spurred off of, because he saw me talking about that, and then he went off and said, I wonder how people would react if Alien got remade. And yeah, that's when it's something that you love near and dear to your heart like that. You have to sit there and think about, like, what would you do? How would you react to it? And, like, I'll go ahead and say, like, 99% of the people would automatically hate that it exists. Like, why would you need to remake Alien? I think Alien is a timeless film. I don't think there's any real reason to ever remake it, especially because the Blu-ray remaster is just so beautiful and clean and crisp. I feel like you could re-release Alien today in theaters, and it would play well to a brand new group of people because it's that good. It's held up that long. But eventually it will probably get remade, and if it does, I think that would suck, but I personally wouldn't be against it. You know, if it comes out and it's awesome, great. We have two awesome different takes on the same subject matter. That's cool. That's how I feel about A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, whoa, everybody out there, I'm in the minority when I say that I like this. This movie, to me, is amazing. I really do love this. This is one of my favorite remakes of all time because it's so good. But I know I'm in the minority on that one. A lot of people really do hate it. And the reason I like it, and by the way, I'm a huge fan of Nightmare on Elm Street. I love all the original Robert Englund ones. Even when they got in the shitty territory and stuff like that, like, it's campy. I don't care. I like it because it's Freddy, you know? Even Freddy vs. Jason. Like, this isn't that great, but oh well. You know, it's just comedy schlock. I like watching it because it's a horror movie. Who cares? You know, it's Freddy. You know, that kind of stuff. But with this, I like that they took a different direction. I like that it's darker. I like that it's more sinister. And really, most people's biggest argument, oh, it's too much CG. Okay, then. If that's your biggest argument against the movie, then what's wrong with the movie? CG is just a different tool. As long as the CG is good, who cares if they use CG? You know? That's what I say. But I really did love Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy. I really do love this remake. Now, like I said, I'm in the minority on that one. But let's say I was in the group that really does hate this. So what that they made it? Who gives a shit? We've still got the original. The original one is a classic. It's amazing. I wouldn't say this is a classic, but I still think it's pretty damn good. I'd say this is an 8.5 out of 10. You know, if I were to review it on a 10 scale. The original, that's a 9, easy. 9.5, easy, because it's that good. It's a classic film. But there is just this mantra, like this aura around remakes, that as soon as they announce, like, oh, we're remaking this movie, people go, and they immediately think it's going to suck. And I think that's an idea that we just need to abandon, because I mean, there's been a lot of shitty remakes. Let's be honest here, but if they come out and they suck, who cares? Why do we have to, like, always remind people like, oh, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. Fuck you, Hollywood, for not having an original idea. You know, it doesn't take away the original whatsoever. John Cambia from AMC Movie News, he really stresses this point a lot. And I have to wholeheartedly agree with him. It doesn't diminish anything from the original whatsoever. At all. The original's still there. They'll still sell it on Blu-ray and whatever the new... It's probably just going to be digital from now on. But they will still sell copies of the original Nightmare on Elm Street 30 years down the road. Because there is a demand for it. They will still sell copies of this because there will be demands for it, you know? Eventually they will reprint this and like in an anniversary or something like that. And it'll probably be more accepted then. And, you know, if we get two awesome tellings of the same story, then that's awesome. Like, I love the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and I love this one, too. I really do. Like, they're two completely different takes for me. That's why I love them so much more. They didn't just try and rehash it and make it that pseudo-comedy that they all became. Well, let's just be honest. The later Freddy films just became straight-up comedies. But I love that they went in a darker, more sadistic direction with this, and they kept a little bit of Freddy's humor in there. There were times where I laughed in the theater where I'm like, he's messed up, he's fucked up. He still made me chuckle because he's kind of being funny there, but in a sadistic way, you know? But there are a lot of remakes that I don't like personally either. And like I said, it doesn't detract anything from the originals at all. It doesn't. And just to touch back on the Point Break remake, a lot of people were just freaking the fuck out about the film. It's like, it's an action movie classic, you can't touch it, this looks horrible. Personally, I don't think Point Break is a classic. It's a movie about surfer dudes robbing banks. The only iconic thing about that movie, the only iconic thing that's going to live in pop culture forever, President's Mask. That's the only thing. That's all anybody ever remembers about Point Break. That's it. That's it. It's not a classic movie where you can remember every single detail, where you can be like, oh, man, that's awesome, I'm going to show that to my kids. You know, I don't look at it as that classic sensibility. It's just one of those weird films that just kind of latched on for some reason for people. But, yeah, I personally would welcome a remake of this. Now, this trailer for it, it's a whole different story. First half is pretty damn good. I'm liking this. This is weird. It's not like the original, but I'm liking this. But then it dips in quality, you know? The trailer's 50-50, so I'm just gonna... we'll see on it, you know? But... so many people wouldn't even watch the trailers like, oh, I'm not going to support this abomination. I'm not going to give it a view. Even if I have ad block, screw this. And I really hate that moviegoers have that kind of mentality going into remakes. Because if we get a good movie out of it, that's awesome. I mean, every remake, no matter how good or how bad it is, they're always made with good intentions in mind. Nobody goes out and say, alright, let's just make a shitty ass movie for money. Of course every film is made for money. That's just the thing of movies. They're a product of capitalism. Capitalism is there to make money, so there you go. But no filmmaker will ever tell you like, yeah, I wanted to make a shit bomb with this, you know? Every person behind these films, they want to make a good movie. They're trying their best, and things just may not work out that way. You know, you're filming, and things happen, and maybe the actors just aren't playing as well as they were when you screened them and stuff like that. But, you know, every single film is made with good intentions. Every single remake is made with good intentions. It's a product that somebody has poured a lot of passion into. Whether it turns out the way they wanted it to or not, it's something that they pour their heart and soul into. And for somebody to just say, you know, Now I'm guilty of this myself. You know, when I see some remakes and stuff that I'm like, oh, this is no, I don't know, fuck this. No, why did you remake this? Like Fantastic Four, or Fantastic, as it used to be called. I think the marketing department finally got on to a lot of people, just like, hey, your movie's called Fantastic. Yeah, that was just so stupid. But every trailer of that, I'm shitting on it just because it's not what I like. Now, when it comes out, I'm going to give it a legit shot. If it's a good movie, awesome. But personally, I just don't like it because it's not Fantastic Four. I'm not even that big, huge of a fan of Fantastic Four. I'm just like, this is so wildly different. I don't like this. Just like the new Joker. And, you know, this is when you're reintroducing characters like that, not movie remakes. But it's still in the same vein, I think. But, like, there's been so many shitty remakes, or shitty in people's eyes, that they're just stained on remakes in general, I guess. And maybe those remakes aren't as shitty as people make them out to be. Maybe they're just coming in there with the set in their mind that they're going to hate it. Going in with films with any kind of expectation will really, really, really tarnish your experience. If you go into a film saying, this is going to suck, I'm going to hate this, you're probably going to think it sucks, and you're probably going to hate it. That's why I say, whenever I go into a film, I drop all my expectations at the door and go in open-minded. Like, I've seen a bunch of trailers for San Andreas. They are shitty. I hate the trailers. I hate that shitty Rihanna song that they play. That makes it worse. I mean, I'm not saying Rihanna's shitty, but the song, the way they play, it just sounds shitty. Nothing about that trailer looks awesome to me. But if I were to go see San Andreas, I would drop all my expectations at the door and like, okay, let's see how this is, you know? Not like, this is going to be shit, you know? And that, a lot of people just, they don't do that. They go into films expecting that it's going to be terrible, you know? And that really can affect your experience. Going into films like, oh, this is going to be awesome too, can really affect your experience. If the movie's bad, you can be like, block it out, like, well, I thought it was going to be awesome, and it was awesome, you know? Like, you can convince yourself that it was good. Everybody's guilty of that, even I am. It's like, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. I still maintain the Age of Extinction. I really did love Age of Extinction. People just shout on that because they didn't shit on the other two movies enough, I guess. But Revenge of the Fallen, like that, I love that movie going in because I thought it was going to be awesome. But as I watched it again and again, it just really... And Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight Rises. That film, I loved it the first time I watched it. Like, surprisingly, Dolphin will rag on me all the time about this because the whole car ride home, as I was driving, you know, he's sitting in the passenger seat, Evil and Meg was sitting in the back seat because we always put him in the back. Yeah, the whole ride home, I'm just like, that was a good movie. That was a good fucking movie. And as I rewatched it on Blu-ray, I saw the faults into it, and I started to hate the movie. And yeah, Dark Knight Rises is a whole other topic in general that I could do a whole video on. Like, I could do a 30-minute long video on the Dark Knight Rises, and I might do that with Surprisingly Dolphin sometime soon. But yeah, long story short, go into a film expecting something, you will probably have it turn out like that, you know, and that can really affect your viewing, and I really do think that plays into a lot of movie remakes. And people just, they hold the originals in such high regard, you know, that they think, oh, you know, this film's a masterpiece, nothing can touch it, this peasant little remake is nothing like the original, you know, stuff like that. I mean, like, looking back at the original Nightmare on Elm Street, as much as I love that film, as much as I do believe it's a classic, it has not aged well. The effects in it have not aged well. I mean, there's definitely some really good effects in it that still hold up to this day, but a lot of them haven't. A lot of stuff in the 80s has not held up well at all. Like in one video before, I said Escape from New York. I've watched that for the first time ever, just a couple of months ago. And it's a great film. I enjoyed my experience with it, but it does not hold up by today's standards. It is an amazing 80s film, but watching it, you can tell what decade it's made in. You're like, yeah, this was made in the 80s. This is clearly an 80s movie. And to me, that's when a film isn't timeless. A timeless film is when you can look at it and say, oh, this must have been made today. You know, like, this really does hold up by today's standards. If you can look at a film and say, yeah, that was the 80s, that was the 90s, it's not a timeless film. And I don't think that's where the remake, it serves its best purpose, you know, where you can bring something that's old, do it by today's standards and for today's audience. That's when a remake really serves its purpose. Like this. This was a very modernized horror film, but I really did enjoy it for what it was, you know, for what it, I enjoy this film. I'm just going to say, I really do enjoy the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Just, that's how I'm going to end the video, because, yeah, a lot of people are going to hate me on that, but I enjoy this. And there are a lot of people out there who enjoy the Halloween remake. I don't know how. That film was just a porno. It's not a good movie at all. I legitimately hated the Halloween remake. That was terrible. Anyways, that's it for this video. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below.